Hello, my beloved friends. Hello, hello. This is Lillian Moeller. I hope you're well. I hope you're having an amazing day. Welcome to another episode of the Fulfilled Life You Deserve Despite Life's Adversities podcast. I have an amazing lady for you here today. This is one of the podcasts that I feel blessed to be involved with because we all in this journey called life today have this problem. Today's guest is Christine, and she's coming all the way from South Africa. She is a wellness coach and health coach who works with women who know that they need to make changes in their lives, in their habits and way of living, so they can be happier, more vibrant, and more fulfilled. But feel stuck or challenged in creating the outcomes they long for. She provides support and encouragement as their guide, confidant, and mentor. Her passion is seeing those women stepping into their power to live more completely, energetically, and faithfully in their mind, body, and soul. Today, most of us have lost track. We've lost our journey in life. We fail to align our body, mind, and soul towards a healthy, vibrant, and passionate life. How do we find our way back? How do we start discussion of beginning to search for that alignment so we can be fulfilled again? Christine is here to help us out. She's a specialist, and believe me, you will get the opportunity to know her more and see more of her work. And please, before we continue, make sure to go see her page, like her page, see some of the blog posts and videos she puts out there. You will get to understand why I called on her. You will get to understand the joy of having such a beautiful soul among us. Christine, it's such a pleasure and an honor to have you. Thank you so much for saying yes. I know you're busy. I know you should be taking care of your loved ones and your client, but you said yes to me and my audience. Thank you so much. How are you today?
Oh, it's a pleasure. I'm very well, thanks. It's great to be here, and thanks for the awesome introduction.
You deserve it. I feel at peace talking to you. I feel there is a part of me that was so much in search of a coach like you, and I know you will guide me. You will guide my audience towards something amazing. My first question to you is, how does someone move from confusion and misalignment to living a purposeful life? And what does it mean to be in alignment with your body, mind, and soul? What does it mean?
Well, misalignment can look different for every person. The core of it for me is that most people tend to neglect one or more area of their health in pursuit of fulfillment in another area, which seems they see it as more important. So it can be career or money or love. And in the process, they forget about the other areas and they don't give it the attention it needs. And this is a problem because the area which is being neglected can influence other aspects of your health. So, for example, For many women, there is a risk of neglecting their physical and mental health in pursuit of a fulfilling career. And for many moms, It's also common to find them putting their emotional and mental health on the back burner. They spend all their time and energy in taking care of their families. So to me, to move from misalignment to living a more aligned and purposeful life, there are several factors that come into play. The first step is to assess where you are right now. Take stock of your current situation and your level of fulfillment. So sit down and write your vision for every area of your life. What would you like it to look like? And be as detailed as you can. People often forget about the emotional aspects, and I think that's a huge part of figuring out what you want for your life. So
great.
Sorry. Yeah,
I must confess, Christine. I must confess, when I was much more younger, I used to be extremely intuitive. extremely. But as I grew older, I let all this negative energy, and I could really tap. And even though I'm still doing great, I was so much more stronger inwards that I could tell. I mean, moving into a room and seeing people, I could make decisions based on certain movement, on what my mind was telling me. I was highly connected to myself. And somehow I lost it along the way because of ego, because of wishes. And you are telling me today that it is possible, which is a blessing to know that I could maybe not go back to 100% of what I was before, but at least to real tap into that energy again, ask myself how I got lost along the way. And my next question is, one of the lessons learned as from adversities is to always be in connection with your physical and mental state. How true is this connection? How true is this with your alignment?
Yes, absolutely. It's critical to always have a strong connection with your body and mind. So many people don't realize when their body is giving them hints that something is wrong. And this can be from mild symptoms that you assume is normal, or it's just caused by stress or eating unhealthy. And eventually it can get so bad that it leads to chronic pain or serious digestive issues where your body is screaming for attention. So if you only reach out for help at this point, it takes years to recover. And some people never do, as they end up with a chronic condition that they'll have to manage for the rest of their lives.
Oh, is that bad?
Yes, it's very difficult. If, many women don't pay attention to those signs, and they only realize when it's too late. So the same can happen with mental health issues. A woman can handle a lot of stress and tension, but if she suffers on her own and in silence, assuming that this is just part of being a woman or a mother, it's normal. Everyone has their bad days, but it can lead to depression or even a nervous breakdown eventually if you don't take care of it.
Okay, now I have to confess. Now, listening to you, years ago before I had my children, I had lots of fibroids. And after I spoke to many people, it's all those things from childhood that I kept inside. I kept a lot inside of me. And this was a way of my body telling me something is wrong. But, I kept pushing it until the stage where I wanted to have kids. Then I had to go through this surgery. So now again, you're confirming that these things can really be bad and they can lead to certain illnesses which are irrevocably in our lives. But how do you start working with people? Like if I had come to you as a client or a new client, how do you start working with somebody like me, convincing me that, it's due to my misalignment?
Well, to be honest, it's not a health coach or a wellness coach's place to convince you. When someone comes to me, they usually already know what it is they need to improve. So for you, it would be fibroids or whatever else, whatever other issue there is. So I'll sit down with them and do a thorough wellness assessment and look at every area of their life to pinpoint some areas that looks concerning or that needs attention. And then from there, we'll fill in a goal assessment form where you can basically figure out your goals for what is your vision for your health? What do you want it to look like? And there's a really long discussion that follows where we uncover some emotional aspects that could be influencing it and other health aspects. So, for example, there are many things that intertwine in your health. You shouldn't just look at the one thing that is concerning you. There are other things that influence it and that's why I say alignment is very important, because mental health influences physical health and physical health influences all the other areas. They're all connected. So that's why it's best to work with a health coach, because there are many things that you have to assess. And it can be done and it can be overwhelming. That's why you must work with a health coach or professional to really figure out a roadmap, because it really is a journey and it's a roadmap that you have to create for yourself. And you can't follow anyone else's roadmap because your destination isn't the same as anyone else. And where you're coming from is going to be unique as well.
Okay, so What adversity led you to this journey of becoming a coach in helping other women get out of their misalignment? What brought you here?
Well, initially, what I assumed when I decided to become a health coach, what was at the forefront of my mind was my struggle with PCOS, which PCOS is a polycystic ovarian syndrome, a complex hormonal metabolic disorder which can cause infertility and lead to diabetes and certain types of cancers. And I'm managing that using natural techniques and strategies. And that made me realize that, it can be done and, don't need to rely on medication. And it's better to look at a holistic view if you want to improve anything in your life. But even before that, I've always had a passion of uplifting women and impacting them positively, especially with mental health, because mental health is close to my heart. My dad suffered from depression for his entire life, and it eventually escalated into alcoholism. And it was like a vicious cycle of losing his job and then leaving us for weeks at a time alone at home with my mom, where she didn't even have a car to drive if we had a problem. So, eventually he decided, to end his life, if I, to put it bluntly. And I basically processed that as rejection. Like, we are not good enough for him to stay in this life. And that made me, be scared of rejection. Like, I was always scared of being rejected, and I'm not worthy of love or of acceptance and success. A child's mind is very complex, and they process things differently than you do. Basically,
Yes.
my dad's absence, physically and emotionally, I processed that as rejection. Like, he was rejecting us, and I could
Yes.
never understand why I made that choice. And that made me really passionate about helping others through their mental health issues. And that it's been a long journey for me to recover from that. And it's also opened your eyes as to the barriers that really influences a person's behavior and their habits and everything, because I basically I never allowed myself to be successful or to perform well, and I developed social anxiety at a young age where I couldn't even talk to strangers. And it took me a long time to get over that. I never finished anything I started, and it's only recently that I worked through that. And that is really a big thing that I also address with my clients. If they have a lack of confidence and they don't feel like they're worthy of love or of a success, that's a huge hurdle that many women have to overcome in their lives. Sometimes it's fear. They think it's fear, but it's actually their lack of, they don't believe in themselves, and they don't feel like they are worthy of success and of acceptance. It's masquerading as fear, and actually there's other things that you have to look at. So that's made me really passionate about helping other women uncover their barriers and their past hurt and pain that could be influencing their health problems and their bad habits.
Wow, thank God for you. Thank God for you. I hear you. I feel you strongly. And yes, my hands are literally shaking because there are so many people in this situation. We misinterpret, we take it as rejection, but I'm sure you found a way to forgive your dad, to know that it wasn't about you and dad's own struggles, which he couldn't just manage, and it had nothing to do. So thank you for digging deep into that and to help other women, other victims of the same situation. What lessons have you learned from some of your clients? Because this is painful. I mean, it's some kind of healing yourself, but then going back to what hurts you the most. What lessons have you learned from some of your clients?
Well, the kind of women who have wanted to work with me have been those who know the areas of their lives that they need to improve. I mean, I don't need to convince anyone that they need to eat healthy or to exercise more, or to stop smoking. That's that yourself what you need to improve. Many women are just overwhelmed by the sheer number of changes they want to make, and they're overwhelmed and unsure of how to go about replacing unhealthy habits with healthier ones. And they see these changes seem daunting and difficult, but will be sustainable if you manage to really implement them in your life, and you'll be able to continue using those habits for the rest of your life. And this is why they seek out my help for support, encouragement, guidance, and accountability, really.
Yeah. We women, we have, I don't know, but for looking at my daughter from a young age, we want to carry on all these responsibilities. So look better, but it has so much consequences on our lives later on. It's like watering a plant. You don't water, it dies. If you keep doing the same, if you water it, it grows. But we have to feed our mind with the right kind of emotions and thinking, which makes us look bright, not necessarily overloading ourselves with all these tasks, thinking people will appreciate us more. But it's a feminine thing. I see from my two kids that it's a feminine thing. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing because it's needed. Many people will need you. It all comes down to habits and how we can start working on our habits that stick. How can we start? It's a feminine thing. How can we start working on this habit so that they will stick and we can live this purposeful life? Because it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. And, habits, that's a huge topic. And I can talk about habits for, we can sit here all day. But, the results you achieve, whether positive or negative, are influenced by the things you do on a regular basis. So firstly, what are habits? Habits are behaviors that we do in certain situations. They are behaviors we repeat often. And because of the repetition, they become automatic. How we learn behaviors helps us to correct unhelpful or unwanted behaviors and create new ones. And, some habits are unconscious and have been repeated so often that they become automatic. And that means they occur without our knowing, and they start without our efforts. They tend to continue once they've started, and they are efficient and require little attention or effort. Would you like to know how to form a new habit?
Yes, I would love to. Yes, please. I would love to. Yes, please. Give me some, steps on how, I would like to really keep my habit of doing my sports every day, but sometimes I do the sports and I'm out of it again, then I'm back again, then I'm,
Yeah, things happen, and if you don't, people that are so into a routine, that also influences habits because you pop them into your routine at certain times, and when your routine changes, it really it messes the whole thing up, and it makes you feel really discouraged because you feel like, I can't exercise anymore because I used to do it first thing in the morning, now I overslept, now I can't exercise. But we can form new habits when we repeat it often enough that it becomes automatic. So remember, we need to consider the behavior we want to become a habit, the situation that will act as a cue for the behavior, and opportunity for repetition. So can a new habit replace an old one? If you're talking about an old habit that has a number of factors which encourage it, for example, cues, how many times it has been repeated, then it can take some time to drop off. And in the meantime, you are just getting used to the new behavior. When creating new habits, we need to be clear about the cue that will set off the new behavior. The cue may be an environmental one, a physical one, a visual, or even auditory. So just make sure that it's consistent and will always be relevant to the behavior. You need to practice the new behavior at every opportunity where it's relevant.
Good. I will put that into practice. And if I fail, can I call you?
For sure. No problem. We can definitely chat about it.
Yes. I have an accountability coach. Yes, I got it.
For sure.
Yes.
And if I can just mention a last thing you have to consider, It's also the strategies that will support your new habits, which is self-monitoring, forming strong goals, having feedback regularly, and reevaluating your goals and your progress, where self-monitoring seems to be a very strong factor in the success of change.
Great. But now we are almost at mid-year, and we're almost close to 2018 than 2017. Is it really necessary that I start new habits? I'm trying to get away with it. I know you won't let me off the hook, so please tell me. Tell me off. I'm ready.
Remember, people often they underestimate how much they can do in 1 year, and overestimate how much they can do in a month. So remember, there's no better time than today to improve your health or to start chasing your goals. Well, there is a better time, and that would be 10 years back, but we can't go back in time. So, start today. Saying that, I wanted to start on Monday and now I have to wait until the next Monday. That's just an excuse. That's just you saying that you're not committed yet. If you're really committed to making a change or to forming a new habit, then there won't be a situation that you can use it as an excuse. You decide and you start, and that's just it.
Okay, my dear Christine, I promise you 2 things. I will keep up with my fitness, and I'm going to tag you every time I go on my treadmill. I will start watching on what's on my plate, and I'm going to tag you. Okay, this is July. I'm going to make a conscious decision because of you. Deal?
That's a deal. I'll hold you to it.
I will do that. I will tag you, and I will tag as many people. Let's spread the word. It is worth it, especially for us women, with all the responsibilities that we have, with all the loads that we load on us. Let's make a movement. And I call on all my viewers today, all my audience, to get in contact with Christine. If you need any help, free session, she's going to give you a free session, and you can decide if she's a match for you or not. But believe me, I brought her here for a reason. How can we get in contact with you, Christine?
Well, there's a booking link on my website. My website is www.wellnessfromnature.co.za. You can always just send me an email. All my contact details are on my contact page on my website, or you can go to my Facebook page, which is also Wellness from Nature. Any which way works for you. I'm not as stiff with those things. So either you can get in touch with me and we can book a session and take it from there.
Great. So I will just recapitulate. If you want to get in contact with Christine, go to our website, www.wellnessclosetonature.com.
Wellnessfromnature.co.za.
Wellnessfromnature.com, and she's present on all social media platforms. She is very responsive and short. Christine, I thank you so much for your time, your explanation. When I saw you the very first time on another Facebook page, and I was like, God, I need to speak with her. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. I will keep you in touch. I will keep on my fitness. I will tag you. And please, let's revisit this conversation again in a few months. Shall we do that?
That'll be awesome. And we'll track your progress for sure.
I will, I promise. Let's do this again in 3 months, 3-4 months, and see where we stand, and get in more people from different audiences, because we need this today. It's absolutely necessary. If we want to pass on a better life to our children, to the next generation, we've got to start today, and we can only do that by example. And she is the coach who can really guide you through this. You do not need any education. Audience if you did not get her social media handle, let me know. I will send all what you need to use so you can get in contact with her. Christine, thank you so much for your time, and see you in 4 months.
Thanks, it was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.